Hello everyone, welcome back to another great episode of Raihana's Cuisines. Today we're going to be making a very famous curry from East Africa. It's called Kuku Paka. Kuku Paka is a chicken curry where we're going to also add some coconut milk in there. So it's going to be grilled chicken, but what we're going to do is we're not going to be grilling it, we're going to be putting it in the oven at a very high temperature at 400 degrees, and then we're going to be turning the broiler on, which is 500 degrees, and we'll broil it until it's really nicely charbroiled. So if you have an option of doing this outside, you can do that, but it's pretty cold outside right now, so I'm going to do it in the oven. Very simple ingredients. I also have a video available for this, but I've had a lot of requests to do a newer version of this video because that was an older version and the quality is not very good. So we're gonna redo this Kuku Paka, and I hope you guys try it because it is an amazing curry. So for the first thing, what we're gonna do is we're gonna concentrate on our chicken. I have two whole chickens that are cut up into pieces, and to that we're gonna go ahead and add about a good tablespoon of ginger and garlic, some salt to taste, some black pepper, and that's really optional up to how you like. If you don't like it very spicy, then add less, because we're also going to be adding some Anaheim peppers in our curry base. I'm going to do about half a teaspoon of lemon pepper, which is just going to add a little bit of zing to our chicken. So basically, you just want to make sure that all the chicken pieces are coated really well with the ginger, garlic, salt, pepper, and lemon pepper. And this is basically my base for any of the chicken that I marinate. And actually just baking this in the oven and having it just the way we've done it, it tastes awesome. Okay. All right. So we got that ready. I've got my oven at 400 degrees. So we'll put that in for about 30 minutes. In 30 minutes, the chicken should be completely baked through, and then we're gonna turn our broiler on and keep a very close eye on it and broil our chicken, and I'll show you the whole process. And if you can hear, that's my little kitty, and he can smell that chicken. All right, so let's just get everything else out of the way here. Now I want to show you what we're going to be doing for the base of our curry. I'm going to need my stove. Very simple ingredients. Right, so basically we're going to start off with about a tablespoon of olive oil, and we'll also have about 3 Roma tomatoes. If you have those big tomatoes, then just use 2. We have half a very large onion, so if you have a smaller onion, just use 1. Now I'm using a Anaheim pepper here that I have also taken the seeds out because the seeds can be very spicy. If you want it even more spicier, go ahead and add either habanero, serrano, scotch bonnet peppers, jalapeno pepper, whatever you like. This is just as much as I can take. We'll also be going to do a half a cup of whipping cream, half a teaspoon to a teaspoon of turmeric powder, salt to taste, and I also have a charcoal here. Now the charcoal, we're gonna put that on the stove and we're gonna burn the charcoal until it's completely burnt through. I'll show you how we're gonna add a barbecued flavor into our curry. Now, if you're doing this outside on a charcoal grill, you don't need to do this step. But because we are not doing it, I wanna add a little bit of that grilled, smoked smell to it. I will be doing that. So now what I'm going to do is turn my stove on, and in my stove I'm just going to add about a tablespoon of olive oil. and I want to get this pretty nice and hot. In the meantime, in my blender, I'm going to add 1.5 pepper, 1 onion, or small onion or half a big onion, and the tomatoes. And I've got some fresh coriander chopped up here. We're gonna use that just for garnish. What you want to do is you just want to Okay, so into our olive oil, you want to add that. And just as soon as you add that, you can smell that Anaheim pepper. It smells so good. So I can just imagine if any of you is going to use the jalapeno or habanero. Oh my gosh. I wish I can eat that spicy, but I can't. So, okay. I'm just gonna add a little bit more water, just a little water into the blender, because I always like using everything completely. While we're waiting for that to completely get broiled, I can show you what I'm gonna do with the charcoal. So you see how here we've got the chicken, and I can see that it's pretty white inside, so I know for sure that it's done. So at this point, I'm gonna leave that. I'm gonna cancel out. I'm gonna turn my broiler on. And I'm gonna stand right there. I don't want to overcook it, so I'm gonna be right here watching it. In the meantime, I just want to show you what I've done is I've taken some foil, just a strip of foil. You don't have to have it this big. I just had some. All right. At this point, you want to make a little bowl out of it, just like so. Okay, just like so. And what we're going to do with that, keep that ready, so when our charcoal, which is on my other stove, when that gets done, I'll show you how we're gonna put it in there. But we're first gonna put our chicken in there. So let me see how our chicken is coming along. It's coming along, but I still got some time. It still needs to completely get charbroiled. And just while we're waiting for that too, I wanted to talk about the charcoal. I don't use the same charcoal that we use for our barbecue. I have this one here. It's a high quality Japan coal, and it's used for incense and stuff. And there are some organic charcoals out there too that you can use. Now, we're not like really putting out that carbon monoxide in here. So I know my first video had a lot of people worried about that. We're not doing that. We're just lighting it a little bit. We're just gonna put a little bit of oil on top, have it smoke, cover it, and then leave it in there for not more than 30-40 seconds, unless you really want that barbecue flavor. So let's check back on our chicken. I can hear it. And you can see here that we've still got a bit to go. And you also want to, what you want to do is, you also want to make sure and flip it. So the bottom sides, see are white, I'm gonna get them all charbroiled. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I am going to flip all these over, and when they're completely ready to go into the curry, into the gravy, I'll show you what and how we're gonna do that. Show you, this is really important part of the recipe, and that's why I really wanted to show you that it's really important that you make this chicken grilled or broiled like this, where it's charbroiled all over. This is gonna make a huge difference in the curry. And it's not gonna be like a chicken curry, but it's actually like how we ate it, where it's a chicken curry would be just regular chicken in there, well, a baked chicken. Well, this one, it's really important if you're trying to make the paka or the kuku paka, the way it's done, really need to follow this part where it's going to be completely charbroiled. So again, our curry is still getting warm. It's still on low here. So at this point, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take our chicken pieces and I'm just going to let them sit in there, just like so. Now, it is completely optional for you to add the broth in there if you like. I personally don't like to add the broth just because the color changes. But if you don't worry about the color and you just want the taste to be amazing, then I would put the broth in there because the broth has a lot of flavor. So you just want to start getting all these in there so they're either floating, or we'll make sure that we stir that in before we add our charcoal in there. And I'm telling you, this dish, try it. I really, really recommend that you try it because it is super, super delicious. And it even tastes better when you've got some for leftovers the next day. All right, got that done. Let me get that out of the way here so I can show you how we're gonna do the charcoal. Okay, so we have here my charcoal. And I'm going to place that right here in our little bowl that we made. I'm going to make sure and stir this just a little bit to make sure that all the pieces get the coconut. And what the best part is, when you see the charbroiled pieces in there, you see these black pieces in there, that's what the dish is supposed to really look like. Okay. I can guarantee you, you're going to try this recipe and you're for sure going to comment that you loved it because this is my go-to recipe. Now what you do is you want to place that bowl right in between, and you want to make sure that you use a little bit of canola or vegetable oil, and you have the lid of the pot that you're using. Put a little bit of oil in there and close it. Now I also want to show you here that this particular top has a little hole there, which we're going to lose some of the smoke. But I don't want to smoke it very much. I just want a little bit of smoke in there. I don't want to smoke it too much. But if you wanted to, you could cover this with a piece of foil, or you could put a towel on top of it. That will help the smoke to sit in there. So I'm just going to give it about 30 seconds of smoke in there, because I really don't want too much of it in there. Right. Now for this video, I honestly wish we had smell-o-vision, because the barbecue taste or the barbecue smell is amazing. When we've got this, it's boiled once, so it's ready for us to serve. Now the way I am going to be serving this is just going to do a nice bowl. Now, like I said, I will post a link to the tandoori roti that I make. It's my mom's recipe and it turns out amazing. I have not had time today to make that just because I've been doing videos all day. But if you wanted to, you want to serve it with that tandoori naan or bread, because it honestly turns out amazing. And it's getting super hot here. Now also, I'm going to be serving it with white rice today, and if you want to, you could sprinkle some sumac into the rice, or you could also add some dried parsley flakes just to give it a little bit of color. And if you wanted more green specks in there, what I could have done is added a little bit of parsley flakes inside in the curry, but I completely forgot. So okay, now we're all done. So on this, I am going to add a little bit of fresh cilantro. Just a little bit to give it that the freshness. And I did keep a plate here ready, but I feel so bad breaking into this beautiful dish. But let's see. Okay, so I'll just take a little bit because we're just sitting down to eat right now, and I'll do a quick taste test. So got my chicken, and I got enough gravy there. Chicken is extremely tender because we cooked it in a very high temperature. So it's not overcooked, it's just melting in my mouth. The taste of the coconut milk and then the turmeric, it's absolutely delicious. So make sure you guys make this and leave me a comment as to what you, if you made it, how you like it. I just want to show you here the rice that I made. You will see that there's speckles of green in it, and I just added some dried parsley just to give it a little bit of color. So thank you so much for joining me on this episode of Raihana's Cuisines. Hope you can join me here next time with another great video. See you then, friends.